Welcome back. Pre-game show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. Phil Collins Friday, Payday Friday, CP3 Friday. Here. Chris Paul's a Warrior, Jordan Poole's a Wizard. There you go. PBJ, Ryan Rollins, see ya. Brandon Pajemski, Brandon with an I, huh? It's going to get some getting used to. Brandon Pajemski out of Santa Clara, drafted 19th overall. Trace Jackson Davis out of Indiana, drafted in the second round by the Golden State Warriors. Forward, 6'9", 245 pounds. Senior, so at least got one guy that is seasoned a little bit, as Joe Shasky joins me now for the crossover, as he does each and every Monday through Friday at this time. And Joe, you're a big Warriors fan. Huge, massive. You bleed blue and gold. I've been gauging the emotions of Warriors fans here, and it's pretty much one way or the other. Either you're thrilled or you're devastated. There's no in between. There's no meh. How you feeling after you saw that trade take place yesterday?
You want to trade Jordan Poole? Okay. All right. I'll listen to that. He's 23 years old. He had a down year. He's making a lot of money. I get it. Believe me, I do. Shot selection was really poor. Doesn't play a lot of defense. Really doesn't help you in areas that you really need upgrading. Perimeter defense, length, size, athleticism. Smart, high IQ type players. That's what they're looking for. And you trade him for a guy on his last piss stop in Chris Paul, who's one of the arch enemies that the entire Bay Area can get around and hate, who literally was going to get bought out. And you stapled I don't even care if it's it could be the 2087 first round draft. You stapled a first round draft pick to acquire the carcass of CP3?
The Wizards couldn't get a first round pick for Porzingis or Bradley Beal, but it's Jordan Poole that gets it done.
It's
I understand
unreal.
there's contracts involved in that still, but like it's pretty wild when you just break it down like that.
And here's my favorite part. The amount of people, and I got to give Bonte credit, the amount of people who didn't watch Chris Paul play this year. Yeah. This year. Yeah. Not 5 years ago. You're going on 5 years ago. This year. He's 38.
It's an old man.
This is his second to last stop because he's going to squeeze out one more contract after this one. The guy is done.
Yeah.
And anybody who thinks he's a defensive upgrade over Jordan Poole, they're the same. They're horrible. Horrible defensively. He has nothing left, at least on the defensive end. Well, and look, I hope I'm wrong. I hope they prove me wrong. Oh, they win another one. This had layers of cost cutting. This had layers of we don't want to play with young players. We're going to blame somebody in Jordan Poole.
Totally scapegoating. That's what I saw
it's
from
so
here.
Unfair.
Well, and then who's going to be the scapegoat next year? Because it can't be Draymond, I'll tell you that. Clearly. I mean, it was Kevin Durant was the problem, first of all, right? The first it's not Draymond, it's KD. You know what? The way this organization turned on KD and now turned on Jordan,
unbelievable.
It's pretty crazy. And Draymond's probably going to get away with it scot-free and get a contract out of all of it, which is wild. Now we'll wait and see what happens because you were saying something very interesting to me off air, and it's like, you know what? I don't think they're going to re-sign Draymond, or I don't think Draymond wants to come back. That was interesting to me because everything we're hearing yesterday from a lot of the insiders and stuff like that is this signals that they're going to bring back Draymond Green. How do you feel about that?
Well, a couple of things. The first thing is, clearly there's a divide between Steve Kerr and Bob Myers that was brewing behind the scenes. This has very bulky Harbaugh vibes to it. You're drafting
that
guys.
Toxic, huh?
Well, you're drafting guys that I don't want to use, or I can't use, or that I don't like. Okay? Straight up. And then the second part of this is, when I saw the Patrick Baldwin Jr. trade, I was like, oh, well, you're saving $10 million. Okay, you're getting a 4-year player versus a guy who's 19 or 20 or whatever. To me, it was bigger than that. You could have bought a second-round pick. You really like this guy? You can go buy that guy. You can go get that guy.
Yeah.
You traded away Patrick Baldwin Jr. to save $10 million. So I'm looking at their finances right now. Now, redundancy, if you bring back Draymond Green, isn't it a little redundant to have 2 point guards at the top of the key who aren't really a threat to shoot or blow by anyone, who just want to hold the ball and facilitate? Isn't that what Draymond's already doing? If Chris Paul's already doing that?
I guess the mindset there would be bringing Chris Paul off the bench, but at that point, it's just like, real? Is he going to want to do that?
So we're going to have a $30 million guy off the bench.
Yes. Yeah.
And then what happens when Steph misses his 20? And Chris
Paul misses his
20.
Yeah.
Right?
You got to hope it's not at the same time, I guess.
Okay, just take a step back. Like, you're a Laker fan. 38-year-old carcass of Chris Paul.
I did not want him on my team.
For 23-year-old Jordan Poole. Even if we all acknowledge Jordan Poole is overpaid currently. He didn't have a great year. Like, I know everyone is so down on him. He's better than what you think he is.
And Bonte brings this up a lot, and I think too, like, I know we're prisoners of the moment.
Yes.
I know how things ended, and it's the same for Clay. I know it ended badly. But they just won a champion. They're a year removed from a championship. And the vibes were so damn high, Joe.
It's just unreal.
Money time, pool parties, JP3. Like, this guy was an integral part of a championship run. And I can't help but go back to it every single time. And I don't care if the fans here, if Dub Nation gets pissed off, stop bringing up the punch. No, it always goes back to the punch because it changed everything. And it changed everything. He got paid after it, but there was a dark cloud hanging, and it was Draymond Green, it was Steve Kerr, it was Bob Myers. It was a failure from Warriors organization not to nip this thing in the bud, suspend him, do something instead of just sweeping it under the rug, which is what they did.
Well, and now they're enabling him. And
that's total enabling.
Well, and here's the other thing.
They didn't address the situation at all, and it came back and bit him in the ass all season.
And what about, I thought Draymond was in on all these draft picks. And all of a sudden, now you can't play with any of them. You're texting Bob all the guys that you want, and now all of them got to go, and it's their fault?
Yeah.
See, this is the problem that I have right now.
Accountability.
Thank you. It's the A word, accountability. Yeah. Here's my biggest issue with the Chris Paul trade. You want to acquire Chris Paul, vet minimum, after he gets bought out, when everyone thought he was going to get bought out? Fine. Yeah. Love it. Perfect. Awesome. It's about asset valuation, okay? You couldn't get more for Jordan Poole. I couldn't get two comparable players for Jordan Poole?
You know what this reeks of to me, and
salary dump?
We're talking to the wall a little bit, but the emotional aspect of it to me, it feels like, and I'm trying to empathize too. When the Lakers traded for Russell Westbrook, I think I felt exactly how a lot of Warriors fans like, what the hell are you doing? Like, this doesn't fit at all with what we're trying to do going forward.
Did you see CP3's?
And it blew up in their face, and then they only got better literally 5 months ago when they traded the guy's ass.
Well, like, again, look, if you want to move off of Poole, I'm open to that. I'm saying that's all you could get?
Yeah, well.
And then here's the biggest issue. I like CP3, again, as a buyout candidate, as someone running my second unit. But you had an asset. And to me, you sold so low on that asset. And now, I get it. The expiring contract is quote-unquote valuable. Believe me, I understand that. But you're just going to punt on this year?
It's weird. It's, like...
What about this year? What if Steph falls off a cliff?
Which is totally within the realm of possibility. Old guys fall apart all the time. You saw it with literally Chris Paul, the guy you just traded for. This guy has fallen off a cliff the last couple of years. And I get it. He played in more games than a lot of people probably thought was at 59 or something like last year. I'm shocked he played that many. But we're expecting this team, a bunch of old veterans, and say what you will about Jordan Poole, guy played every single game, Joe. He was one of the what? It was him. Who was it? Him, Looney, and someone else on the Kings.
I sat next to Nash Solomon, who is a diehard Suns fan.
What's up, Nash? He's still in town, by the way.
Season ticket holder for the Suns. Okay, he was elated when they acquired Chris Paul. Elated. You know what he said? Game 6. Chris Paul cannot play anymore as one of your main cogs. He's done. He is a vet min guy. Everyone around him, people who watch them every single day, vet min guy. Stop going off the resume of Chris Paul. Go off the current player. Now, here's my other thing. This is the problem. They don't need another facilitator. Yeah, it'd be nice to have another facilitator. They need perimeter defense, a two-way player, more shooting. They need size and athleticism. You got cooked in the paint. Cooked in the paint, and you haven't added anything to that. You have guys all around the just Western Conference who are going to cook you on the perimeter, and now you have one perimeter defender in Andrew Wiggins of your main 6 guys, and then you've got a niche player in Gary Payton Jr. who you also overpaid for, and that's to me the common denominator is overpaying for things that are very niche and flawed.
Did the Warriors get closer to either the Lakers or the Nuggets yesterday with any of their moves?
That's a great question. I don't think so.
Oh, there you go. Like that's as simple as it is. Like I'm just trying to look at these rosters as it compares to the guys that just won it, and don't get it twisted. The Denver Nuggets are a tier above everyone. Everyone looks up to the Denver Nuggets. That's Eastern and Western Conference. They are in a class in their own. And I don't know if there's a move that Mike Dunleavy Jr., Kirk Lacob, Joe Lacob can even do to get to the Warriors back. Like Chris Paul, that's not going to do anything for me. It's just not. Like, it's not doing anything for me.
He's stopping? Like,
he's not stopping any. Did you see that finals? Did you see Aaron Gordon?
Here's my favorite part.
Aaron Gordon's going to go on Chris Paul and eat his breakfast, eat his lunch and dinner.
Here's my favorite
He's
part.
going to take him out to brunch later. He's going to take him to Taco Bell for the fourth meal. He's going to eat him up.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
I can't wait till you
KCP's going to lock him down. Bruce freaking Brown if they bring him back.
Draymond at the top of the key, holding the ball, pointing and yelling at people to move around, while Chris Paul is pointing and yelling at people to move around. This is one of the all-time. Dunleavy is one of the all-time hated Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Like during his playing day, and he traded for maybe enemy number one outside of LeBron James for Golden State Warrior fans.
That's what
outside. It's a short list. It is LeBron, Harden, CP3.
There you go. And you know what?
And you give him again. I can't get over it. People.
He's
not old Chris Paul. I'm talking current Chris Paul.
Yeah.
He was going to get bought out. Was he not?
He was. Yes, they were trying. People are trying to like the Wizards organization was trying to do right by him by finding a trade partner. But most of those teams that were looking at him were probably like the Lakers and Clippers. We'll wait.
And this thing about Rick Celebrini. Look, I like Rick Celebrini. Iguodala couldn't last 6 seconds.
Rick Celebrini doesn't have the
magic.
He doesn't have the holy grail to bring this guy's youth back to him. He doesn't have. He's not Tom Brady, okay?
the guy's resume.
The avocado toast isn't going to help this guy turn 20 years old. It's not working.
What's the game that you play where you try to pull the bones out of the little
Operation's not working with this.
Chris Paul
can't pull the fish head out of the head.
It is the soft tissue thing is going to reap its head. And by the way, Chris Paul doesn't even look excited.
No. Hold on. I want to play it real quick before you go because it's one of the funniest soundbites. I was just listening to him on it. Here's Chris Paul.
You need Jesus to revive Lazarus to get CP3 through 60 games this year.
JC3. Here's Chris Paul yesterday talking to God knows who. Blink twice if you're okay, Chris. Talking about getting traded to the Golden State Warriors.
What is your reaction to being traded to Golden State today?
I'm excited. I done got that question I don't know how many times already, so I'm really excited.
You spoke with Steph, it sounds like, already, and how did that go?
It was good, yeah.
What do you think your role will be on that team?
To help us win games.
There you go.
Really had to dig deep for that
Okay.
role.
So let me ask you this. So after you got cooked by Schroeder and Austin Reeves and Lonnie Walker IV, I mean, random names, not even the elite ones, we're bringing in Chris Paul, and that's going to help our perimeter defense. After you got cooked by Anthony Davis, okay, who had his way with you, we're going to allow him to sag off even more because we're not going to have one point guard at the top of the key holding the ball who can't shoot. We want two. Let's double down on our flaws. He's
Skeletor. He is Count Dooku. He's Darth Vader. He is Megatron. What other villains you want to toss in there, Joe Shasky? Who can you think of right now?
He's Fredo.
He's Sauron.
No,
he's Fredo.
Fredo.
He's Fredo Corleone. He's every single guy you don't want. He just joined your team. And you know what? Joe Shasky and Ponte Hill can break it all down.
And you're snitching on yourself if you're over here throwing a house party for CP3.